beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sing 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
To this day.
TV.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Sacrilegious Sundays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. Let me know how we sounding on the audio, all right? Let me know how we sounding on the audio. And that song that you just heard right there, that is the Theta Waves featuring the Twin Pillars. Let me know if y'all want me to run that back. Let me know if y'all want me to wheel that one up. You know what I'm saying? I don't got a problem with that. We could bring that back. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Peace to the family. All right. Let's go. All right, Shan, run it back. Run it. All right, here we go. We go. Let go.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sing 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Bless.
Crumb TV.
Yes, sir. All right. Shout out to Crumb TV. All right, look out for that. That's gonna be coming out real soon. We're gonna come out with the mixtape. So yeah, look out for that. That's coming real soon. Yes, some sticks made of holly. Let's go ahead and do the roll call, and then we're gonna get right into it. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. All right. Said you be on a head bob every time you hear that. Yeah, that's a bop. That's a bop. It's definitely a head bop every time around. Dallas, Texas in the building. Iowa in the building. We got Mazza in the building. Minnesota in the building. Kansas City in the building. San Jose in the building. Seattle, we got the Yay. All right, PG. Duval. London in the building. Portland in the building. East Las Vegas. Cashville. Gibson. Indiana. East Flatbush. Iowa. Waterloo. We got 617, The Bean, Howard, Broward, Florida, Decatur in the building, Colorado, Mountain City, Oakland, California, Jersey, Bangkok, Thailand, Ireland, Canada, Alabama, Pasadena, Cobb County, San Jose, Savannah, Benestang, Pinecrest, T-Dot, stand up, Arizona, Detroit. We got Alabama, St. Martin, Wichita Falls. Okay. New Zealand in the building. Man, shout out to everybody pulling up. I really appreciate y'all. All right. I see we have a packed house. I'm going to have a great show tonight. Going to cover some topics, multiple topics. I don't even have a title for tonight's show. I'm going to figure it out as we go along. We're going to touch on a few things and whatnot, touch on a few things. But this is not a war report. So we're going to touch on other things that's going on as we wrap this. It's probably like Sacrilegious Sundays. Sometimes we just we go over some of the stories that are dominating the headlines. And then, of course, prepare ourselves as we move into Melanin Monday. But what I can say for all of my day traders and for all of my quote unquote, all of my anybody that's doing the Forex and the day trading, yeah, y'all shouldn't even go to sleep. Y'all pitch a 10 or something. You know what I'm talking about? Have a sleepover. You know what I mean? Like, catch some sleep later on. Y'all should be breaking day, getting ready for the markets to open because there's gonna be a bloodbath. You know what I mean? These are licks to hit. It's time to hit some licks, my genius. You know what I'm talking about? give me some advice. I want to advice farm, right? I want to advice farm. I want to crowdsource, right? I would love to crowdsource and find out from the people in the audience, right? Because we could the roll just doing the roll call ain't enough. The roll call just established that, what I mean, it's cool in the gang. I'm talking about that it's A alike, B alike, C alike, and we just identifying the nodes of the demarcation lines in which we are tapped into, jurisdictions in which we tapped into, so we could just really see that whole grid. But what it's really, what the next step is, I want to hear from, well, that always happens anyway. We do the roll call and then we engage in this conversation, and then a lot of gems are dropped in the chat. Okay. The chat, the gem, the information, what I mean, the add-ons and whatnot. It's almost like, there'd be a psychic network taking place when them nodes get connected, because I might be thinking of something, then I look in the chat and it'd be right there. Somebody wrote it out. Boom. So with oil going up to 200 a barrel, right? We could do simple mathematics. We don't have to make this thing difficult, y'all. There's a certain threshold to where they say when oil passes it, then shit hits the fan. If my research serves me correct, it's $90. Okay. That was the signal. The signal was, if it goes past 90, then shit is gonna switch up. Things are gonna change. What was already expensive will become more expensive, right? So with knowing that, time is of the essence, right? Being present with the information is going to benefit everybody that's involved, because one thing that you can't say is you didn't have the opportunity to make a move, correct? Man, I wish I had brought my brother Heru on the show. We were actually scheduled to do something a minute ago and it didn't fall through. The brother Heru Asari Ata, who I brought him on the show to do the health. He came through last year and smashed it when it came to the healing cancer, healing people from damn near hospice with the olive leaf extract. But he also does stocks. He also does the financial shit. He's a genius when it comes to that. And he actually was supposed to pull up a few months ago and help everybody on his platform and his network just set up an account, right? Just to get to that part of setting up an account, which a lot of people don't even know how to do, right? And we didn't get to do that. But for those who have done that, you know, we're going to put that on your shoulders. We want to know from you in the chat, what are some of the things that the family that's out there can do tonight and tomorrow and in the next few days, if they wanted to, quote unquote, flip some of their bread, put something on the line and make it flip. Or even for the family that's out there that's like, you know what? What's the best things that I could do right now, knowing that things are going to begin to skyrocket? What are some of the things that I should start purchasing right now, so I don't have to I don't have to keep up with all of the chaos that may ensue. Get dry food. The world is about to get crazy fast. Get dry food, right? Oil projected to hit 150, right? It's at 107 right now. Okay. Gas prices could reach $8 a gallon. We were told a fear used to invest in oil. Gas is almost at 4. I saw it at 4 in Cali somewhere. Okay. So those who know, they know what to do. To them, this is a holiday. To them, this is a lick. To them, this is a come up, right? And in the game of love and war, somebody might want to interject what they would call some type of morality in it. But if you know, you know. It's one of those things that, if you know what to do, then do it. Okay? If you know what to do, then do it. So for the people that's going to benefit off of war or benefit off of conflict through the markets being chaotic, hey, do what you got to do. But make sure that bet that you make, even though it's going to be, in certain ways, it's kind of like, it's like a blood diamond in a sense. You feel me? It does have certain energy attached to it. Make it worth something. Because shit is about to change real quick. You said don't invest in none of the stack or the stock. Oil is already at 116 just that fast. Oh man. Is there anybody out there that is gonna short these that's gonna get money by shorting these stocks? On Friday, the stock USO call options for the one. Okay. What comes to mind that I would love to share with y'all? There's a few things that come to mind, but what really was on my mind today was I was exposed to transportation in South America via the motorbike, right? In the scooter. It was a whole new way of me seeing how people get around and how to get around, especially in places like New York, right? That are mad congested and whatnot. Even though they drive wild crazy, you have to be a very good defensive driver. However, you could move around. You could get to places in New York on a motorbike. A lot of the immigrants have mastered that. The Africans, the Venezuelans came up in that, and they see now I know why the Venezuelans came into New York and did they big ones on the motorbikes, because when I went to Latin America, that's their mode of transportation. That's the motorbikes, right? And that's how you get around in Thailand. So them same scooters that you go to Miami, South Beach and be, wilding out on and whatnot, doing, going around, the same souped up scooters that the DoorDash dudes in your city are probably dropping off food with and whatnot. Some of those e-bikes and the motorbikes, yeah. Especially if you live in a city where things are kind of like you could get to places in a 30-minute radius. That's going to kind of be the next move, because if those prices go bonkers, them EV cars and those quote unquote motorbikes and those scooters are going to come in handy. You might even want to go snatch up about 100 of them. You might want to go snatch up about 50 of them. You might want to get together, put that 800 credit together, and then go, you know what I mean? Y'all go and get that credit and go grab some bikes. Because, I'm not a betting man, but I would definitely bet that's about to go up in a minute. That's about to go up. People are going to hop on those. Grow the food indoors. Blue Pill will be on the show. I spoke to him in H Factor. I saw them at Derek Grace's event. This strong, and when was that? Oh, that was yesterday on this Saturday. I met up with the guys, and Blue is going to be on the show, and he's going to drop. He has a lot of information when it comes to the farming, right? He has formed what is known as the farming, which is a component, or I would say a direct result of the Facts Initiative, which, by the way, is having its 10-year anniversary this year alongside Scorpion King. So we are in the 10-year anniversary cycle right now for the Facts Initiative. What a way, you know, man, the things that have grown, the things that have evolved, the type of businesses, the world that grew out of that vision called the Facts Initiative is mind blowing. I'm going to actually upload one of the initial debut Facts Initiative broadcasts that I did. I did a live, and this was one of the first times we were even doing live streams on the internet, on YouTube, live broadcast. I did it on 363 Empire, which was Black Magic 363. I think it was even UGR back then. And that was Brother Rich, with Sinetta was also there, and that was the Facts Initiative 10 years ago. And I was watching it the other day. It's just mind-blowing. But Blue is growing food. I mean, I'm talking about real farming, real deal farming, like for real. You can have an entire operation in your house. It does not matter where you live. You could live as far away as Colombia, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Bolivia, Ecuador, Panama, Costa Rica. You could, it don't matter where you live, and it doesn't even matter what you live in. You could live in one of those cinder block homes and monetize that bitch. You know? I mean, I don't know how much I would, you know what I would do? I would get the cinder block home and just, yeah, I would turn all of them into mini farms. What is it gonna do? It's gonna make the house grow. You know, we living in these quote unquote square houses and whatnot, and the rents and all of these ransom fees and whatnot, the house is shrinking, it's not growing. When you grow food inside of your house where you domicile, it organically makes the house grow. The house will grow, the land will grow. You'll begin to buy more acres. You'll begin to add on to those acres with more housing, right? Dropping container homes, tiny homes. I have these videos that I've been watching where they're building monolithic domes with basically blow up, like you know how they have bouncy houses. They have something like that. They have like a bouncy house thing for a monolithic dome frame. They fill it up with concrete. They mold the concrete, and then they put another layer on top of it. Boom, you got yourself a monolithic dome. And I believe it's about from $5,000 to $10,000. What's popping? What's really good? Before the year is out, the Facts Initiative, that campaign is going to be launched. It's going to be a very, the rollout is going to be monumental. You know what I'm saying? We got to build up a lot of power, a lot of energy, and a lot of charge and roll that thing out kinetically. You know what I'm talking about? A kinetic rollout. So you bought your oil stock for $40 a few years back. Hello. Tiny homes going for about 200 bands in Metro Atlanta. Yeah, I think they have a tiny home community and whatnot. You feel me? The geodesic dome. Yep. Those are fire. Look into monolithic domes. If anybody is out there interested and getting on their shelter and getting into this real estate, only lands, monolithic domes. Okay. But definitely Blue is gonna pull up and do his damn thing and drop this information for the family. Look out for that. And if y'all haven't checked out Mineral Ministries, please make sure y'all go ahead and check the good brother. The episode that he did today, about 3.5 hours, he was definitely going in. So check out Minister Moreland over on Mineral Ministries. That's on this page right here. We even have it a whole playlist, so you could check out all of them. I'm telling you, I've been listening. Like today, I was in a sauna, and I pulled up this channel while I was sitting in the sauna, and I just randomly scrolled through the archives and clicked on a video from 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago. And this video, that's what I'm saying, like this video was speaking about every single thing, not every single, it was talking about Epstein, it was talking about Diddy, it was talking about everything that culminated later on down the line in fine detail. That's why on these shows currently, from probably like mid 2025 to about now, really are just reviews. Everything that already needs to be said was said about a few years ago. Why would I get up here and repeat myself? That's insanity. That's a waste of energy. I said this shit years ago. I'm playing Chocolate Godiva, Brosie O'Donnell and them. All they're doing is they're just solidifying, they're vindicating, they're catching up to the research and whatnot. They're reporting the damn thing. They're doing the work. The work been done. So when y'all get that, man, it's videos from 2000, it's videos on Baba TV, and especially I think every single video from Kia Life Production, which is the battle rap channel, right? Hip hop is real, Knowledge the God in them. Shout out to Knowledge, right? Damn near every video that I did with them from 2017, we had a year, we had like a 3-year run from 2016 to about 2018. Crazy. Damn near every video that I did with him was profiteering, prophecy, whatever they call it when you prophesizing. It was all prophesizing. See what I'm talking about? So we're gonna have to bring videos like that. I mean, we definitely have some things in the works. I don't want to speak ahead of the plans of what's on the stove and what's inside of the oven cooking, but it will involve being able to have content, though that classic content being accessed through, you know, your mobile, your tablet, and all of your devices, right? Of course. But in the meantime, between time, we got YouTube. And YouTube, you run YouTube like a broadcast channel. And then we also have KTL Plus, where our videos are playing every day on Connect to Your City, right? But we're gonna start bringing some of those classics to this channel. More so, Know the Ledge, the original channel, but not Know the Ledger 444. I'm not going to be doing a lot of those uploads on Know the Ledger 444. I'll be doing the classics on the classic channel, which is Know the Ledge. That's the original channel that we got back a few months ago. So that's where all of the archived and the classics and whatnot will be rolling out videos. So make sure y'all subscribe to that. I'm going to drop a link for that YouTube channel if you're not subscribed to that channel. And on that channel, it's almost like a museum. You feel me? It's literally a museum because it'll take you all the way back to 2008. Some of our first videos in 08, 09. So you get to see the growth. You get to see the behind the scenes. You get to see the players. You get to see a lot. You get to see a lot without me even telling it. You get to see it. You could go and watch it on your own, and you'll see a bunch of people that you now know that are famous and that are out there and who are, you know, household names and all type of stuff, because, you know, that's the brewing stage right there. That's the beginning of this thing. It was hard to convert to this channel after they took the original. Now this feels like where it's at. We rocking with the pillars. Yeah. You know, I definitely, I could echo that sentiment that the energy that I put into this channel in particular, and when they took the original channel, the energy, the consistency, the fact that when Brother Rich even told me, yo, do not give up this YouTube thing, because I literally was going to walk away from it. I was done. I was going to still make content, but it was not going to be YouTube based. I was going to go be a Rumble nigga. And he was like, nah, bro, YouTube, you know what I mean? Your blueprint, your DNA, you built this whole YouTube thing up. Like, don't just walk away. Hold on. And he, you know, I give him advice sometimes in life, but that was some of the best advice that he could have gave me, because I damn sure listened to him and I ran with that shit. I said, you know what? Say less. And I went ahead and I had this channel already, but it was basically parked up and whatnot. Then I said, F that, I'm gonna build this up. I'm gonna breathe life into it. And then here we are. You know what I mean? Here we are. And this channel is growing, it's healthy, quality of membership. You feel me? I wouldn't rather have it any other way. And the original channel is doing its numbers. You know what I'm saying? The people are, you know, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm not going to complain about nothing. You know, I'm not going to complain about nothing. All is well. All is well that ends well. Here goes the link to the channel. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to it. That channel is special. You know what I'm saying? That channel is special. That channel is going to feature very heavy. When we tell this story of the history of the conscious community, Know the Ledge Media is going to be a central part, a very, very central piece in that story. Okay? Keep in mind, your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. Even when you go and look at the video that Brother Rich just did on 363, it explains there were people who got connected to people who created this entire community, because the community was created from the promoters, the ones who were putting the promotions, the lectures together. The lectures fed the DVD distributors, who were like Netflix and Blockbuster back in those days. But in order to sell in order for the DVD distributors to sell a product, they had to get a product. Who was creating the product? The product was being created by Eye Opener Productions. Who helped to form Eye Opener Productions? Blue Pill. Blue Pill was the one who introduced Black Dot to Brother Chris. If Blue Pill never introduced Black Dot to Brother Chris, there would be no Eye Opener Productions, and then there would be no Sinetta TV, because there would be no Valentine and Bobby Hemmett, because Bobby Hemmett and Phil Valentine, they were already out before, but they stopped teaching, right? They was like, I'm good. And then the young brothers from Eye Opener Productions brought them back into the fold. And by doing that, they created the LIU era, the golden era, called the LIU Brooklyn era, right? Look it up. And that inspired a Sinetta, who wasn't doing the promotions at that time. He got inspired by Brother Shabazz, who preceded him. And then he became Brother Shabaz's competition. And by doing that, something took place, and Brother Shabazz, who was plugged in with Phil, Bobby, Delbert, all of the top teachers and the talent of that era, and I have to be clear, the Dr. Ben still existed. There were people in different cities that were doing their thing. Everybody still existed and coexisted at that time. What I'm talking about was a specific group of teachers that dealt with a specific group of promoters that were building out, right? They were building out something that stood out and was different, and became the foundation for what we know now as the conscious community. Not to take anything away from what anything else was going on. It all plays a part. Everything is connected. We're mostly talking about LIU though. Okay. And that spark and what that created, how that grew in all of the factors, because without that, there's none of this. Let's be clear. Without that, there's none of this. So you always got to go, you got to be, you got to let other people tell the story, and then you have to be very meticulous on how you put it together. But Blue Pill's fingerprints is literally in the beginning of this whole, I can't even you know what I mean? Like, he put me on, but he's one of the main factors that were the glue that put this thing together. And he wasn't the only one, but he's a pioneer. He's one of the pioneers. We got to put some respect on his name. You know what I'm talking about? Got to put some respect on his name. And I'll be damned if anybody who come along later on in the game try to disrespect that man's name for the monumental, quote unquote, contributions that he has put into this. He was interviewing Phil Valentine in like 01. 01. That was monumental. It's called One Up on Consciousness. So yeah. If y'all didn't check that show out, go and check that out. 363 Empire. That was a very important show, maybe the most important show that I've done on his channel in a long time. Not to say that none of those other shows, every single show is a hit. Every single show is a classic. From the first show we did all the way back. But this one right here was one of his most important shows, not just me, one of his most important shows on his channel. Is that when y'all went by twin? No. I went by twin. That was all the way back in like 2000. But yeah. Yeah, so let's get into some things tonight. I wanna start this conversation off as to kind of pick up on a conversation that we were having yesterday, right? So I just want to follow up on something that we was chopping up and whatnot. And we was chopping up the situation that is going on in Atlanta right now about the strip club, right? Magic City being chosen by the NBA and the Atlanta Hawks specifically to join forces on Magic City Monday, right? And to kind of like, and to highlight Magic City, you feel me, as the staple in Atlanta. Now, a report came out a week ago about the average Black family's net worth in Black America, or in America for that matter, the USA. And surprisingly, I mean, I guess nobody saw it coming. Surprisingly, Atlanta, Black Mecca, the place where people are packing up to go and live their lives, to chase dreams, because according to YouTube, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, and other platforms, this is the land. This is Black Wakanda. This is Black excellence. This is what Diddy and them. This is I have a dream. This is Diddy's dream. This is what MLK was hoping for, right? This is it, y'all. You feel me? There's nothing else past Atlanta. Atlanta is it. Atlanta is the promised land. These are where the Housewives franchise cut their teeth, right? This is where the culture of quote unquote stripper culture has risen and been exported. This is the city that charges you $100 to park your car in a gas station. Shout out to V12. Right? So How the hell is the average black family's network 5 bands? And in Washington, D.C. is 220,000. And in Dallas is 195,000. And in Oakland, even with them stripping down Oakland, it's 180. Los Angeles. So a lot has to be taken into consideration, because with all of the financial advisors in Atlanta, somebody is not advising one another financially on how to do this thing the right way, because whatever blueprint people are following, it's an outdated one. It's an outdated one. You know, whatever blueprint that they're following is an outdated one. It's a dangerous one. It's one that doesn't serve anyone. Okay. And this is an epidemic that has, quote unquote, afflicted every single corner of not just Black America. This shit has been imported to the UK. They importing this shit to Dirty December, to Africa. They imported this shit to Latin America. It's everywhere. So I want to play this clip because we have somebody who threw their hat in the ring and wanted to have something to say about this controversy and whatnot. And we haven't really, we're just sprinkling a little bit of the bird seeds. We didn't even come to eat, ladies and gentlemen. This conversation is going to be a panel. This conversation, when we decide to have it, is not just going to be red pills, opinionated, you know, because I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased. And I've told you before, I am not sitting up here trying to pedestal myself. I dated strippers before. Okay, I've dated strippers specifically from Atlanta many moons ago. Yeah, I was Twin back then. Twin dated the strippers. Red Pill did not. Okay. So, and I don't have nothing against them. It was, I don't, you know how niggas could be bitter and whatnot because they got handled. No, that is not my case. You know what I mean? That I had a great time. I learned a lot from the women that I was engaged with. Right? We took care of each other and whatnot. They was stand up. Okay. But I am speaking about the fact that they have, when certain things evolve and change, right? So for the women who have, yeah, strippers need love too. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? I came in and I pulled out a cape, you know what I'm saying? On a few occasions, I tried to save a few. You know, and it's a bitter pill to swallow when you realize that they do not want to be saved, and some of them can't be saved. Okay, it's a bitter pill to swallow. But what I will not do is I will not stand around and just sit around and say, oh, they're making strip club culture the de jour of Atlanta, when all of these people who are engaged in real Black excellence have something to say about. I don't, you know, so I need this conversation to be had on this platform. We're gonna have to bring some natives. Do y'all think that we should bring an actual Magic City patron onto the platform as well, like a dancer or something? Because they might have an intellect somewhere in the crowd. Who knows? I just can't bring nobody that's random, but I could bring someone. If there is someone who can articulate themselves, then I would be open to that. Bartenders. I seen Billy is Boule by default. Oh, Killer is Boule by default. Oh yeah, Killer Mike got a show, right? He got a podcast. Like the rappers got podcasts and whatnot. He got the podcast. Yeah. spiritual strippers. It's always been like that way. Yeah. I didn't see the documentary. Who saw the documentary? I know that Jermaine Dupri was involved in it. My dude D1. I should bring D1 through. All right, because D1 is the one who is low-key beefing with these dudes. Let me pull the D1 page up. Let's share his video. Yeah, D1 was barking on them dudes, man. He be on their asses, pause. He stay on them. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to. Sometimes you just got to. Okay, here you go. You're going in on JD. All right, so let's hear Killer Mike. We'll get right back. Let's hear our guy Killer Mike. Without any further ado.
Documentary. Jamie Gertz's company produced a beautiful documentary. Jamie Gertz's company produced a beautiful documentary on Magic City. Then we should be supporting our city and not just for chicken wings.
Yeah.
You're never going to get rid of adult entertainment in Atlanta. That's why they call it adult entertainment. It is one of the things that has helped desegregate, resegregate, keep our community black owned, keep people who are in ownership positions. When you go to Vegas, the strip clubs aren't owned by people who look like the people who work there. When you go to Miami even, it's not that. So if you come to Atlanta and they say they like the girls in the chicken wings and the city doesn't have a problem with it, shut the f up.
That's right. That's right.
So he said that I think he said let me see what he said, man. I need to. This nigga got a Grammy, right?
Beautiful documentary. Jamie Gertz's company produced a beautiful documentary on Magic City. Then we should be supporting our city and not just for chicken wings.
Yeah.
You're never going to get rid of adult entertainment in Atlanta. That's why they call it adult entertainment. It is one of the things that has helped desegregate.
That's what he said. He said adult entertainment helped to desegregate. Did he just say desegregate as in when MLK got shot? Talking about did he say desegregate adult entertainment? Did he say desegregate? This is the same city that MLK's house is preserved and it's a landmark. And that man did not get shot trying to desegregate the strip club, Michael. And he didn't get shot so men of all persuasions on Mondays could pull up for chicken wings and, you know, and a little bit of adult entertainment, my G. You know? So let's see what else he said about these chicken wing spots.
Resegregate, keep our community black owned, keep people who are in ownership positions. When you go to Vegas, the strip clubs aren't owned by people who look like.
Oh, yeah, man. Y'all gotta pouch, man. Atlanta, pat yourselves on the back. Y'all managed to keep the strip clubs black owned. Whoop-de-doo. Y'all did it. Y'all doing y'all big one, man. Shit. Y'all
The
holding
people who
on
work
to
there.
that black.
When you go to Miami even, it's not that. So if you come to Atlanta and they say they like the girls in the chicken wings and the city doesn't have a problem with it, shut the up.
That's right. That's right. With the Hawks, you know, throughout the years.
And I've worked with Magic City throughout the years.
And
although I prefer the Blue Flame, I'm a big fan of Magic Cities as well.
What do you think about this whole controversy?
I think that the Playboy Club was the first club to allow allow black comics in it. So we got Dick Gregory out of it, a comic, a scholar, and a philosopher. Magic City has been a black-owned business for over 30 years in my community.
This man said Dick Gregory, right? Dick Gregory's story is that he was performing at the Playboy Club, that Hugh Hefner was able to desegregate, you know, because he had Dick Gregory at the Playboy Club performing and shit. So he's comparing Dick Gregory's come up at the Playboy Club with Hugh Hefner, right, to this shit that he's trying to push right here with Atlanta partnering up, Atlanta Hawks partnering up with Magic City Night.
community. That community has given entertainers that happen to be dancers a place to entertain. Those women have went on to become business owners, moms, wives, and more. And the culture that Playboy started in the 50s lives in the Atlanta gentlemen's club scene, whether that's Magic City or the Blue Flame or Peaches. And if you don't understand Atlanta, just hush up and be quiet.
Yeah.
Is this what today's International Women's Day? Today's International Women's Day. Yeah, Blue Flames is. I remember we used to go to Blue Flames in like 99. My dude G Young, God bless the dead. He had a girl named Duchess who was dancing in there. Shout out to Duchess. Yeah, she was real nice. Yeah, the flame was hood. That was nigga. Welcome to the jungle. So now the conversation is, if you're not from Atlanta, don't talk about our hoes, or you don't have any say, right, in judging how we handle our women. If you're not from Atlanta and you don't understand our culture, that we've accepted exploitation, right, as a residual of what them white men did to the women, right? Because even with Blue Flames, with the lizard, with the that's them trucks park up. That's parking lot pimping over there with all of them truck drivers, I don't know. The whole arrogance of telling people that they can't speak about shit going on, but when you speak about it, you're not even speaking about it with any type of you're biased. You're letting people know that you're biased, right? You're biased. You're not even willing to look at it objectively. Killer Mike, and I don't even like calling you Killer Mike. I'm just calling you Michael. You're a square, you feel me, who got a little bit of, you probably a big spender in some of these adult entertainment spots. You know what I mean? You're a client, so of course you're not gonna talk down.
Al Horford, we never with you anyway.
Well, that was Luke Cornett, Al Horford.
We don't with Luke. Luke should stay in San Antonio and concern himself with San Antonio business. If the city of Atlanta embraces that, and they've done them beautiful.
So the ironic part, the irony in this whole thing is it was some white boys that called them out. It was some white boys that actually had something to say about this whole situation. Let me pull that up real quick so we could get some more context, right? And they were the ones who had something to say about it. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me see if D1 could talk to this man real quick. Let's see what this whole hoopla is about.
You're bringing a strip club themed night to an NBA game. The Atlanta Hawks are embarrassing themselves right now, and they're doing something so offensive to black people in the city of Atlanta because they feel like, man, they love strip clubs, they love Magic City Monday. We're going to bring it to an NBA game that's going to have kids there, that's going to have youth basketball teams there, and youth from different church groups at the game. And you're going to bring a strip club themed night to the NBA. Man, it took a white NBA player to come out and say, yo, this night need to be canceled. This seems like it's objectifying women. This man did a whole press release about the objectification and mistreatment of women in our society and asked for the night to be canceled. Where are the black players at who are offended by this, who want to speak up about it? Salute to homie, though. But then you got 10 times as many of our people saying stuff like this. This the best theme night in NBA history. Even some of our women, loud and proud, defending this type of night. Bro, we gotta wake up at some point and realize how crazy we out here looking. To the Atlanta Hawks, you still have time to fix this. This night needs to be canceled. This is offensive to black people. This is offensive to the city of Atlanta. Regardless of how many people get hyped behind this, people get hyped behind ignorance all day, every day. You heard me? So don't think because you're seeing some online like, oh, people excited. No, man, this is foolishness. And the Atlanta Hawks should know better, and you can do better. Make sure y'all call 1-866-715-1500 and let the Atlanta Hawks ticket office know that y'all think this is extremely offensive, that they are promoting a strip club as an NBA themed night, and let them know you will not be supporting the Atlanta Hawks if they do not cancel this night, and let them know how offensive this is to the youth in this world, to the black people of Atlanta, to just humanity, period. This ain't cool at an NBA game.
That ain't hip hop, no. That's hypocritical hop. Hypocritical hop. Hypocritical hop. Hypocritical hop. Hypocritical hop.
Hypocritical hop. He also has something to say to Jermaine Dupri, who has stuck his nose in this thing right here. Let me let the young God talk to Jermaine, man. Shout out to D1. I appreciate him speaking up and being fearless and having something to say when a lot of people probably will want to say something, but they just too scared. They're just too scary. So let's go.
I already prayed for Jermaine Dupri, but brother, you can do better. No disrespect, but you're almost a senior citizen, and you are still being passive aggressive online. That's not setting a good example. I recently spoke my mind on not having a strip club themed night at an NBA game where kids are gonna be. And one dude was threatening violence against me, talking about running me out the city, getting me blackballed. First of all, me and that dude been in contact, so that's already taken care of itself. But you sitting here liking the post. You heard me? Liking the post, passive aggressive. But when I hit you up, you don't want to reply to me, you don't want to talk to me. But then I jump on your live the other day and you're talking about me. So you'll talk about me, but you won't talk to me. That ain't gangster. That's not OG behavior, that's DG behavior, and that stands for disappointing grown up. Then 50 Cent call you out today for doing the same exact thing, liking a post that Dame Dash made about him, that little subliminal passive stuff. My thoughts on strip clubs not being promoted at an NBA game where kids are gonna be, those are my opinions, bro. And a lot of people agree with me. You don't have to agree with me, but it don't mean that you gotta co-sign people threatening violence against me. It don't mean you gotta co-sign people talking about getting me blackballed and all that. Man, you can't blackball a man of God, first of all, but second of all, that's how you move. And then 50 Cent noticed it too. You can do better, my brother, and I can help you if you need it. I have prayed for you. I talked to God about you before I got out of bed this morning. I'm not lying. I really did do that, because some people don't realize the type of precedent they are setting, man, and I don't think you realize it, because you make good music. I'm sure you're a good dude, bro. I'm positive, but this right here, this is not a reflection of the best version of who Jermaine Dupri was called to be. That's all I'm saying.
They don't like me, but they know they can't deny.
Sometimes you just got to talk to these men. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to talk to them. Check this out, too, because this is a pipeline right here. So when we speak about the exploitation of our women, our future, the daughters, right? We got to look at the whole board, right? Because at this point, everybody that's going against the grain, everybody that's working with these quote unquote devils, the synagogue of you know who, there's going to have to be a line that's drawn in the sand. Now, there's no network that I could think of that exceeds the level of disdain when it comes to the way that they're depicting our women globally, right? And moving around the world and whatnot, exporting dysfunction, debauchery, hedonism, what we would call buffoonery, violence, and disrupting the stocks on our people's reputation. You feel me? Because there's nowhere that anybody is going to respect our women, and their stocks are going to rise, and they're going to look at them as, you know, as respectable after they get a whiff of the bad girls club or baddies, the whole baddies thing. Anything that's on Zeus Network, after somebody consumes a few hours of that, yeah, they're gonna they're gonna sign up for the eugenics program. So lo and behold, wouldn't you know that the man that they call the Zeus Diddy, they call him Zeus Diddy, right? He's the one who set up Zeus Network, came out of nowhere with a whole entire network, right? And I'm sure people were like, where the hell did he come from? Nobody ever really heard of him. You feel me? He might have been behind the scenes, but he literally popped up out of nowhere with an entire network. Come to find out, the boy's dad, right, is a black bishop of Israel. Okay. His dad is a black bishop of Israel, Dr. Glenn Plummer. Okay. Dr. Glenn Plummer. So his poopa, his father, his old man, okay, is in bed with them people. And it's always somebody that's close to a religious figure that's involved with this corn industry. Like the person who literally owns Corn Hub is a rabbi, right? The person who went ahead and acquired, I believe it's called Mind Geek. That's the company over about 500 different channels, a rabbi. The person who's aligned with OnlyFans, a rabbi, and a juice box. So, you know, I know what that's about. I mean, you know, inversion, the things that they do. I know what it's about. So people like this, it is one thing to know what they doing or to highlight, but it's another thing to actively make sure shit like that comes to a screeching halt. Okay. The CEO and founder of the Zeus Network. The black degeneracy they will always have small hat investors. If there's never, if this shit is a recession and they can't find and the money dries up and dollars become toilet paper, they'll still have a budget for black dysfunction. If money turns into coconut shells, they'll have a whole coconut shed to fund black dysfunction. The way that they even want it right now, they want the dysfunction to actually pay itself. They just want they want dysfunction for free. Yo, at this point, they want dysfunction for free. Before they had to pay niggas to be dysfunctional, and they had to incentivize them with these breadcrumbs. In the future is going to be genetic. It is just going to be free dysfunction. Okay, just free dysfunction. So this person is going to play a part if nobody gets in the way of his plans and whatnot. He literally is Jerry Springer in blackface, and maybe even worse. Okay, and maybe even worse. These two look like twins. These two remind me of each other. This nigga and this nigga look like you know what I mean? They might be related in some way. Okay? So we have a case right here that broke the other day about Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses that are sending the footage, right, to Kenya. So when people wear the Meta smart glasses, right, the same way that they discovered that the Waymo taxis are really not driving themselves, they have drivers in Africa moving that shit around. The same thing is happening with the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. We just did a show about DARPA, me and Crumb TV. And in that show, we were drawing all of the quote unquote lines. We were showing all of the receipts, how Meta / Facebook is a DARPA program. It is the Fed book for real. It literally is a government program, right? And this dude right here is literally a plant. He's literally a plant. So these devices, right? These devices are broadcasting people fornicating, showcasing all of their proclivities, committing crimes, all type of things, and they are paying groups of Africans because those are the people who they could pay the least. Any other group would be unionized. Any other group would demand that they basically pay extra because of the trauma of what they're seeing and whatnot. Right? These Africans are being exposed to some very disturbing things. This is an agency or a factory called SEMA or SEMA, right? And they were the same Kenya. This is Kenya. Kenya is the same place where Is It Real just bought a bunch of land and they're going to build out an entire city for Is It Real juice boxes in Kenya, right? So this Kenyan company was the same company that they were training ChatGPT, because ChatGPT, the initial ChatGPT, they use Africans to build or to help out with the building of ChatGPT or the training or the evaluation of the earliest models of ChatGPT. They also use the Kenyans to basically be the fact. They were on they were on Facebook. Facebook were using them. It's sort of like using virtual assistants, but it's Facebook, it's Meta. So, it's a humongous contract. It's a humongous contract, right? So more than likely they're probably hiring 5 to 10,000 villages with an S of Africans. They just hunker down on one of them nations and whatnot, cut a deal in the UN, you know what I mean? Swap out a mine or a village. They move niggas up out the village. The village might have gold in it. It might have a bauxite. It might have lithium. It might have coltan. You know what I mean? They pack the village up, send them niggas to a call center somewhere, or have them just pack them up and relocate them to a warehouse. And now they're working for Meta, and they're looking at people through their Meta Ray-Ban glasses. Africans. And these Africans are suing and whatnot. Let's go to the tape. Let's go check this crazy shit out.
Mark Zuckerberg has just added facial recognition.
Is your address 4 Valley?
Mark Zuckerberg has just added facial recognition to its smart glasses and hopes the public is too distracted by political turmoil to care. With an internal memo reading, quote, "We will launch during a dynamic political environment where many civil society groups that we would expect to attack us would have their resources focused on other concerns."
Understand what that statement that you just heard, apply that to multiple situations. Remember, you're dealing with psychopaths, dark tetrad, dark triad, American psychos, Machiavellian, narcissistic personality disordered recessives. They are going to move when there's chaos. They're going to launch shit. They're going to inject things. They're going to onboard things. They're going to move with their agendas. They're going to use the distraction as a cover. Understand what you're seeing and understand what the hell is going on. A week ago, their back was against the wall and they were getting punched in the mouth and whatnot. Now they've wiggled themselves off of the wall. The same people that were punching them in the mouth are now saying, who y'all want us to punch? Who y'all want us to punch? They are attack dogs right now. The same people that were punching these elites in the mouth are literally like, yo, let's all kill the Iranians together. We at war. We're gonna win this. You know what I mean? We're gonna win this. It was because everybody is on, you know what I mean? You pull the G.I. Joe card, niggas fall right in line. Especially the pale faces. They fall right in line. They snap right up out of that. Right? So the day that Orange Man says, hey, you know what, guys? We just have to do martial law. we're going to call the emergency powers and shit is getting crazy. They bombed one of our, the grid got hit or something. The minute that he says martial law, he's never going to unmarshal that law. So that's your window, because that's when you're really going to see these niggas go crazy. It's all a ruse, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. The Supreme Court gave him absolute power, Homelander, before he even came into goddamn office. So pay attention. Remember, all of the technology niggas were sitting at the table. They met King Charles, right? They met the head of dragon, the head dragon, Prince Andrew's brother. They went and had dinner with him, and he gave them the rundown. They sat with BB and these niggas. They are a part of Cobra Commander. They are a part of the agenda, the Dark Enlightenment. Don't trust these niggas. I already told you. Behold a pale-faced horseman.
To use it, you just put the glasses on, then as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame.
So right there, ICE with the glasses, right? They're going to Meta will basically have, because Meta already is locked in. So if Meta is doing that on a commercial level, then they basically have it on a military level. Once again, you're seeing the birth of Iwas before your very own eyes. That is the Hegelian dialect between Anthropic Claude and the Department of War. And that's the Hegelian dialect that has ChatGPT or OpenAI as the solution and whatnot. They already have given birth to Iwas, my niggas. It's already there. So this facial recognition that they're giving the public access to, just imagine what they have. Just imagine what the military and what ICE and these agents and whatnot, when the martial law is declared, then they come out with the glasses and there's facial recognition as they knock door to door.
This photo is used to analyze them, and after a few seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone. Cambridge Community Foundation. Oh, hi, ma'am. Wait, are you Betsy? Yes. Oh, okay. I think I met you through like the Cambridge Community Foundation, right? Yeah.
And not only are they identifying people through the glasses, if you're one of the people wearing the glasses, you are being watched as well. Quote, the investigation found that much of the footage captured by Meta smart glasses, of which more than 7 million pairs have reportedly been sold, is being reviewed by contract workers at a Kenya-based company called SAMA. They say,
go and look up SAMA. It's in Kenya. SAMA got a track record for doing a lot of shit in the AI world. They are literally the outsourced help. They're in bed with these. They know where a lot of the bodies are buried. They have seen a lot of shit. They were seeing Epstein type shit at SAMA. The workers in Kenya were seeing Epstein type of crimes being committed damn near all the way like years ago. They just have NDAs and they can't say nothing and whatnot. But the workers was getting sick. They were quitting. They were unaliving them. They were going through some shit and whatnot. Go and look up SAMA. Similar to how the people who were putting together the iPhones was jumping out of windows in China.
That sensitive and personal footage captured by the devices, including people going to the bathroom, getting dressed, and having sex, is being reviewed by contractors who see all of it uncensored. Well, what could possibly go wrong, y'all?
Let my dude cook, though. Let my dude. Come on in, son. Come on.
The fact that you probably didn't know, every video and picture that you've taken on your Meta glasses was sent to some random Kenyan chilling like a villain in a cut like Neosporin, and he had to see those videos and pictures as well and then train AI with it. I know. I wish I was joking. I'm not. Of course, because we live in a technocratic society. This isn't headlines everywhere. But, yes, workers watching intimate AI glasses videos. The Kenyans called them up and was like, I'm seeing a lot of naked people on here. And there's one dude, he was hitting it from the back. And I think he thought it was just between him and her, but he didn't know that we had a whole office watching and training AI. And then the other dude, you may actually want to go check on him. He moves a lot of cocaine and weed. I have no skin in the game, but it's just what I saw. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? I mean, I had meta glasses. I wasn't recording nothing nefarious like that, but still, there's some shit I don't want no random Kenyan to see. You know what meta excuse was? No. We was blurring their faces though, and then the workers was like, no, you weren't. I was watching some dude take a shit, and he was looking at himself in the mirror with the glasses. Why he was recording that, I don't know, but I saw it. And it's just like, oh, wait, throw the fucking flag. And Americans get in on this lawsuit because clearly it was filed from over there, but it's like privacy. Yes, a lot of privacy. Because what the fuck is going on? And then next thing you know, I'm gonna find out that this front camera here is like, oh yeah, we was recording Lawrence and we heard he was talking a lot of shit about our greatest ally. Come with us, buddy. I mean, come on, nigga, what's next? He knew this. He chose this. Red Bull, nowhere in sight. So why? Strictly for vibes. Invasion of fucking privacy. I'm a bad promoter, but guess what? There's a new YouTube video dropping later today. So if you want, longer content, storytelling, all that type of good shit, tune in. Pull up, son.
Let us remind you this.
Is a Pentagon program. The whole Facebook movie is a giant lie. It's a propaganda piece. That was a Pentagon program called LifeLog. LifeLog is a Pentagon program that wants to collect all your data for your whole life. What day did the government stop the LifeLog project?
Whoa. DARPA shut down the LifeLog project February 4th, 2004.
What day was Facebook registered as a business?
Oh my God. No way, bro.
The exact same day. They don't even hide it, dude.
It was created by DARPA.
Yeah, they handed it to Mark Zuckerberg. And then the Vossel twins.
What about the other? Yeah.
That's all. And that's why they became the first Bitcoin millionaires, because they play ball. Oh my God. It's all theater, dude.
So what is the purpose of LifeLog?
To collect all your data for your whole entire life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? The Facebook days need to be over because it's even, man, oh man. Yes, indeed. But let us continue. Let's take this shit to these fake ass influencers and whatnot. You know what I mean? The jokes keep writing themselves.
The jokes literally write themselves. Check this out. The Israeli government is facing a lawsuit after failing to pay influencers for pro-government propaganda posts. This is the most Jewish thing ever. Now it's just funny to look back because I remember a bunch of these influencers I'm not getting paid. You think I got $7,000 to post this? Or you think I'm getting paid to spew this propaganda? And it's no, I don't think you're getting paid. A Jew promised you that money. And it's crazy too because y'all ain't gonna see a dime of that money. The lawyers are literally on their team.
It's too funny, okay? I don't know if you recall, but several months ago, Prime Minister Yahoo was meeting with a bunch of social media influencers and telling them, we will pay you $7,000 per post to write positive stuff about the state of Is Not Real. And people were freaking out. They're like, oh my God, that's crazy. It was a bad PR move. It totally backfired because on any positive post about Is Not Real, you now saw all these comments saying, did you get your $7,000 you sell out? Hope you got your $7,000 check. Now it's turning out they did not get their $7,000. And it's got the same energy as all of the ICE agents who signed up for the $50,000 bonus and the debt relief, got to make my nut. And then it turns out that the contracts that they signed will not give them the money because it's almost like a payday loan. They're actually in debt to ICE. It's got the same energy as all of the contractors who worked on the casinos for our commander-in-chief who had the 34 felony counts. I don't know if people realize this, and it's important that you memorize and internalize this phrase. There is no honor among thieves. You cannot work with corrupt, dishonest people and come out clean. They will most likely take advantage of you because that's what they do. And unfortunately, our entire government, our entire system is literally run by and for criminals. That's what the files prove, but you don't necessarily realize it until you're in a situation like this where, oh, I'm going to, work for the government because they're going to support me. No, they won't. They're all liars. They're all thieves. You only think they're smart because the media told you they were, because the media is also likewise run by liars and thieves whose interest it is to make you believe in this system. So the smartest, richest guy in the world, once you spend time listening to Muskrat, you realize he's stupid and he got the money to buy the company because his family was heir to this really disgusting mineral mine fortune in southern Africa. But when he actually buys the company, what does he do? He just keeps lying and making these promises that he can't keep. And yet the stock doesn't go down because the entire economy is a Ponzi scheme. That's why I don't begrudge anyone who's really struggling to make it at this moment, because the entire economy is businesses that would have been illegal even just a couple of years ago. Like AI is intellectual property theft at an industrial scale. When I was in college, if you were on Napster and you were downloading songs, you could go to jail. Now you can download all of the content that's ever been created, and it's a business model. If you're struggling at this moment, it probably means you're not a criminal or willing to sell yourself out. And even if you're willing to sell yourself out, you will not succeed because you're working for thieves and liars and crooks.
And if that hasn't been shown, if that hasn't become abundantly clear, then I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. But at this point in the game, you know, loyalty has a price tag, and people are being bought and sold before our very own eyes. You feel me? People have prices, ladies and gentlemen. And one thing that I know, I don't know everything, but one thing that I do know is that if somebody has a price tag, then they're basically no good to you because they cannot be trusted, right? We cannot move forward when we have people who are willing to go against us for a quote unquote price, go against the nation, go against the agenda, go against the code, right? Shit like this needs to be not just uncelebrated, it needs to be dangerous for people who feel that they could just pop out and do some shit like that.
It's a giant lie. It's a
You know?
To understand where we are today.
But let us continue to go down the rabbit hole.
Think about your family tree for a second. Your great grandma.
All right, let's see.
ילדים בתחפושת של אברכים מעשנים בחג הפורים. כששאלתי מבוגר אחראי, למה מתירים לקטנים לעשן?
Check this out.
They actually picked them up in Colombia, so that's the deal.
Remember what we were talking about on yesterday's show, to be exact, about these cartels working with them people, and by proxy, these gangs working with these people, and then by proxy, the rappers working with these people, and then by proxy, the athletes. Just, you know, once again, nowhere to hide. This is all the devil's playground. They all are part of one entire conglomerate. It is a frequency, okay? It is a frequency, and people are entering into this quote unquote realm through different angles, through different doors and whatnot. But the drug dealer is just as worse as the person who's out here organ harvesting. Is just as worse as the robber and the steal. You know what I mean? Like, they are all operating on similar frequencies.
Some of them, they actually picked them up in Colombia, so that's the deal that the Colombian government had with America. But some of those big people, they were rich. They had money. They're millions of dollars stashed over there in Colombia. So what they would do was, they were cooperating. They'll give them a cell phone. They take them downstairs every day with the marshals. They get cell phones. They call Colombia. They'll go to like poor places on the coast of Colombia that are fishermen that know the waters. The Ecuadorians, they'll get a boat, put a tracker on their boat. This is real facts. Send them on a boat, for example, with like 1,500 kilograms. And they will give them the money up front, let's say 10 G's or 15 G's, whatever they promised them. There's the stories I heard from the actual people that were on the boat, that they will actually pay the money to the family, and they promised them more money when they will get back if they made it. Supposedly it was real. When they were almost by Nicaragua, getting to Mexico, they had a tracker already on the boat, so they'll make it look real. Come with the chopper helicopter, shoot the 50 rounds, bah, 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 shoot the airplane, shoot the boat, make it look real, arrest them, and then afterwards they'll film it for the conviction for the court. So if they like to go to trial, it's recorded. They'll burn the boat, whatever, sink it, and then another boat will come. I heard the stories from these Ecuadorians. They'll burn the boat and then give the drugs back to them for they could keep building cases like that. And don't think that they'll take off a lot of time. They'll take off a few months or 6 months from their sentence. So do you have any idea how many cases they got to give that were fabricated cases? And at the end, out of the 30 years, they end up doing like 8 to 10 years. And guess what? They don't even ship them to a prison. They keep them right there and the whole time in FDC Miami, on one of the floors the whole time. And then the people that they bring on the boat that they don't know that they were set up by that person, they put them in the unit with him. They don't know it's him that's doing these cases. And then 2-3 days later, he'll pop out and he'll have everybody cleaning for him, cooking for him.
So, one big quagmire. One big quagmire. Let us continue and go down these rabbit holes. Okay? Let us continue.
To understand where we are today.
Where we are today. I've been doing a series with this dude right here. He's been breaking down who exactly Peter Thiel is, who exactly JD Vance is. Now we're going to get into something called the Heritage Club, or the Heritage Foundation. I'm sorry. And these are the people who are the authors. These are some of the main architects that are behind these crusades, that are behind all of these quote unquote, because remember, they're not just going after Iran. They've making announcements that they're about to launch a campaign in Latin America now. So they are fully entrenched in their Armageddon or their crusades and whatnot. So let's find out about the Heritage Foundation and how things changed over there to get to get things rolling the way that they're rolling.
To understand where we are today, we have to look at how the Heritage Foundation changed. Since 1981, they've written a handbook for every Republican president. But in 2021, under Kevin Roberts, the goal changed. They spent over $22 million to build Project 2025. This wasn't just a book, it was a government in waiting. They created a digital database of 20,000 vetted people and an academy to train them. It was a pre-built administration ready to replace thousands of government workers on day one. This plan was built to work no matter who won the primary election. The group had multiple candidates in mind, from tech entrepreneurs like Vivek Ramaswamy to Donald Trump himself. To make sure they had a connection to the Trump family, the group started early. In 2019, the Rockbridge Network was founded by J.D. Vance and Chris Buskirk, creating a pipeline between wealthy donors and the movement. Donald Trump Jr. was invited to be a founding member, with memberships as high as $1 million to join. Trump Jr. became closely involved with the network, speaking at their events and eventually joining 1789 Capital, a firm founded by Rockbridge members in 2022. This created a 5-year link between the group's wealthy founders and the inner circle of the Trump campaign. The center of this plan was a private job database, like a conservative LinkedIn. People in this database were not just picked for their skills. They were picked because they agreed with the goal of shrinking the power of government agencies. By the time the 2024 election started, the shadow government was already trained and the list of names was finished. The plan was ready before the first vote was even cast. The manual was the brain, and the Rockbridge billionaires provided the bank. By 2022, the syndicate wasn't just planning a government. They were building a business empire alongside the president's own family. But while the machine was now fully funded and fueled, they still needed a pilot. Someone who was a true believer in the plan to sit one heartbeat away from the presidency. The architect has already built the machine. Now you need to see who they chose to drive it. Like and follow for part 3C, where we reveal the Trojan horse. And please share this video to help spread the word, because the plan only works if it stays in the shadows.
You dig? So yeah, he's been unpacking the people behind Project 2025. He's been doing an excellent job in his journalism and his research, and we will continue to go down that rabbit hole, but definitely look into some of the names that he just dropped and whatnot. All right.
The Epstein chalkboard I decoded show you bring in.
Let's hear this. Let's hear it from my sister. Hold on. Let's bring the goddess on stage.
About your family tree for a second. Your great-grandma had like 8 kids. Your grandma had 5. Your mom had 2, maybe 3. And us, millennials and Gen Z, a lot of us are saying absolutely not. And that's not just a generational thing. That's a 200-year pattern hitting a breaking point. And it didn't happen by accident. Let's start with the obvious. Money. Because if you ask most millennials and Gen Z why they're not having kids, it comes down to that. And honestly, they're not wrong. It costs over $300,000 to raise a child in this country, birth to 18, before college even enters the conversation. We're the generations that graduated into a recession, got buried in student loan debt, watched housing prices double, and are now raising our own cost of living on wages that haven't moved in decades. We didn't get the economy our parents had. We just got the bill for it. Our ancestors had 8 kids because back then children were survival, right? More hands meant more life. We don't live in that world anymore, but nobody built anything to replace it. Now, here's where it gets sinister, and I need you to stay with me. For most of the 20th century, in over 30 states, the U.S. government was forcibly sterilizing people that it decided were unfit to reproduce in hospitals and prisons and federally funded clinics without consent, sometimes without even telling them what was actually happening. North Carolina alone approved 7,600 sterilizations between 1929 and 1974. California sterilized over 20,000 people. Poor women, disabled women, immigrant women. Women who went in for one thing and came out permanently changed without ever agreeing to it. And then there's a conversation that nobody really wants to have. Something shifted in how our generation see our own lives. Hustle culture told us to build. Social media showed us videos of people living and thriving, child-free. And watching people around us struggling to raise kids with no village, no support, no safety net. Parenthood started feeling less like a calling and more like a trap. So we optimized, we built careers, we built brands, we traveled, and kids got moved to the maybe later list. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with their life, but I do think that something got lost quietly in all of that. The idea that children are legacy, that every single person alive exists right now because somebody before them, through war, famine, poverty, grief, chose to keep going, and you are that choice. The question is, what choice are you making? So why don't we have as many kids as our ancestors? The economy made it a luxury we can't afford. The government spent decades deciding who was even allowed to reproduce. And the culture started treating children like a liability instead of a legacy. All three are true at the same time. This isn't about judgment. It's about being real that the answer to this question is a lot bigger than personal decision. And it always
Talk about the inconveniences of being with a masculine man if you are a woman possessed with the Jezebel spirit.
Whoa. I mean, it is Women's History Month, so I guess we just gonna go down that rabbit hole and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, let's just touch on a few topics. Let's get some conversations going. You know, I love her spiel and the questions that she raised and whatnot. Very, very good. And yeah, we're gonna continue to have these conversations because we are going to be having a panel show coming up in the very near future.
Talk about the inconveniences of being with a masculine man if you are a woman possessed with the Jezebel spirit. First and foremost, the masculine man is not going to worship her. If she's used to admiration, if she's used to sexual leverage, she's used to being the center of attention, and she's used to praise, then she is going to struggle deeply with the masculine man. In fact, she may even resent him. A masculine man admires, but he does not idolize his woman. His mission, his calling, and his obedience to God comes first. And a woman possessed with the Jezebel spirit, she wants to come first. She will interpret his priorities as neglect in the relationship. And that's a very egotistical woman colliding with a man with order and structure. Second is, she will feel challenged because he can see through her. He can see that her tears are a form of manipulation. He can see when her silence is being used as a form of punishment. He sees when her seduction is used as a form of controlling him. He will refuse to participate in any games. And to a Jezebel-spirited woman, this will feel incredibly exposing and uncomfortable because that level of discernment feels invasive to the Jezebel spirited woman. Third is a masculine man doesn't shrink to accommodate to insecurity. He will lead and wait for her maturity, or he will simply detach, especially when disrespect is consistent in the relationship. There is no third option. There is no in between. It's either one or the other, but he will never, ever, ever succumb and bow down to your chaos and dysfunction.
So when I think about the Zeus Network, and when I think about the dude that I just showed you, his name is Plumel, right? The skinny looking dude. And when I think about that show, The Baddies, and when I think about what's her name, Jocelyn Hernandez and whatnot, that is that, you know what I mean, these women fighting each other, boxing each other, being very just loose gooses and whatnot. That is definitely what I'm seeing broadcasted, not just the Jezebel spirit, of course, but many other types of dysfunctional spirits and whatnot. But it's being promoted, it's being platformed and whatnot. It's being seen as an option to not have children. And hey, we're not gonna have these children, but we definitely gonna be some hoes. You know what I mean? Like we definitely gonna thought it out. We definitely gonna go through our whole phase and whatnot. And take me through there and all of that shit. Or you know what I mean? Like it's just a lot going on right now. It's a lot of dysfunction going on right now, man.
So they spoke up, some of them, and they had questions and complaints. They say the black man does not love us, does not respect us, give us something to submit to. Let's talk about it. By all means. I'm a black woman, so hear me when I say this. The unaware, naive, lost black woman is the new slave owner. And just like the white slave owner, she will pick out the smartest, hardworking, capable man for her to reap the benefits of. What can you do for me? There's nothing wrong with that unless you're using it for the wrong reasons. Just like the white man, once she has sucked you dry, or once you become aware of what she's really doing to you, how she's putting you down, how she was taking from you but not putting in, and then you begin to argue and fight for yourself, then she becomes unappreciative. She becomes more disloyal. She will talk you down, walk on you, spit on you, and tell you that you are replaceable and go to the next candidate. But these are people that we are talking about. These are our men we are talking about. Yeah, that part. So then let's take from that woman as well. That same woman is also the same thing that a black man does not trust. How could you marry your enemy? You say you need him so you can benefit off of him to put into your household. But these are also the same women that are saying, well, we have our own money now. We have our own status now. We have our own power now. But you are not using that to put back into your house. You are using that to keep for yourself. You are selfish. Yeah, that's right. You're selfish. Because you would take from that man and take your money and go put it up. The difference between the women back then that were working that you want to talk about, because we've been working, we've been holding it down. The difference is that the money was going back into the household. It was being combined with the man's money to
Talk
lead a
about it.
force front, not go against your household to break it apart. That's why they are leaving, because you become disloyal. These are the same women that say stupid stuff like I agree to disagree, but also say things like I want a man to lead me, but also be the same woman that say, no, but I got this, get out the way. Does it make any sense? Not to me. You want to say, well, give us something to submit to. Baby, give them something to protect. But you have to be able to listen. And listen does not mean control. Where'd that come from? Who came up with that? Who said, I want to control you? That never came out of their mouth. They said, you won't listen to me. What does that look like? You're not hearing me. You don't want to see. You're being naive. I said, follow me, not let me control you. You don't want to be open-minded. But these are also the same women that's not taking accountability, making assumptions, and then coming up with their own false reality so they can have a reason to justify the behaviors that they are putting out to disrespect these men. Baby, black women might as well be the new KKK with fat booty lace front wigs and manicured nails.
God
Why do I
damn.
say that?
Let it breathe. Let it breathe. She said that what? Black women might as well be the new KKK with the wigs. Was that bars? Did she get into some spoken word, ladies and gents? Should we do the finger snaps? Should we snap it up? She do look a little Nia Long right now. Let her cook.
Because you're still supporting the opposing team if you are against our men. If you can find a reason to argue with me for protecting our men, you tell me how you are not the op. Nobody told you not to be strong. You're just being strong for the wrong people. Nobody told you not to have a voice. You're just using it against the wrong person. Yes, be strong. Yes, be passionate. But for your people, not against our own men. What part are, if we lose our king, game over?
Family. If y'all feeling it, let me get some emojis. Women's History Month. You know what I'm talking about? International Women's Day. Gotta let our women know how we feel about them when they talking to us. You know, my love language is just real talk. You know what I mean? My love language is real talk. Like I just love me some real talk. You know what I mean? Just keep it real. You know what I mean? Talk to my soul. Speak to me. Talk black to me. You know? Let's continue.
You have power, but you're using it for the wrong thing. They're giving us the rope to hang ourselves, giving us government assistance and money, anything to make us feel powerful, telling us to pretty much forget everything they do for us, telling us that he doesn't matter, telling us that we are more important than our men. And you take the bait. You take the bait. You do. And then after you take the bait, you do the dirty work. You start feeling yourself. Instead of taking that money that you're available to make, to combine it, you're keeping it to yourself. Instead of uplifting that black man, you are talking down to that black man. Yeah. You want that man to protect you. You want that man to love you, but you won't be loyal to him. You won't respect him. You want to yell at him. You want to call him out his name. You don't want to learn from him. You don't want to hear him. You want to talk about all the things, the hardship that we women went through. Well, in the past, we were in the house and we were doing this and we were working. They was outside working too. When we was only getting paid this much, it was going right back into the house. They was working to put into the house. We've been working, but who are we working for? That's the question. There were so many things that was brought up that it just bothers me. You want to talk about child support? That's a scam and a hustle. You know damn well them kids don't see that money. These are also the same women that's pretty much saying that we don't need black men, but you're asking for his money. No, these are also women that purposely get pregnant or had control over getting pregnant and then decided, well, I want to slave the black man to me. So no matter how far he gets, he still owes me money. The government tells you he owes you money. But if you really cared about that man, spending time with his children, loving his children, putting it to his children, you would make the government, you would beg the government to make him pay time and not money. But it's because you are benefiting off that money, which is why you are pushing so hard for it. Your closet is full of clothes. You have so many different items, accessories, cars. But the child's closet is empty. The child is hungry. The child has needs. You have yet to see that child have a better education, live in a better neighborhood. I want to see that child benefit, not you. But you're living off the black man's money. So which is it? Are you for us? Or are you against us? because it's really starting to look like you want a debt relief program and a sponsorship. You want to use the black man, but you do not want to support or protect the black man, but you want him to support and protect you. The black man is not against us. He is protecting himself from a bunch of snakes, because the moment we feel emotions of you're not doing enough of what I say, you're not doing enough of what I want, I'm going to be disloyal to you. I'm going to sell you out to them. I'm going to call them to come get you, to enslave you even more, to make your life even harder, and not realizing that I am putting myself in the hole to fall down with you, because at the end of the day, the white man is not our king. The black man is. If the black man fails, we fail too. We are a reflection of our king. We are a reflection of them, and they are a reflection of us. So why are we going against our own household? Why are we going against our own men? If you can find a way to argue with me for protecting our black men, if you could find a way to feel some kind of way because I love our black men, if you are so stuck on yourself, on what I got and what I need, all I'm hearing out your mouth is I. But you love the black man. No, you don't. You want to use the black man. You say he wants you to be a white woman? No, he don't. He wants you to understand him. He wants you to listen to him. He wants you to respect him so he can honor, respect, support, and love you. You want to talk about femininity? How can you do that trying to be the head? It feels too good to have that kind of power, but you were never meant to be in that position. Use your power for where you're supposed to stand from. You really think these men gonna talk business with you? You ain't got no woman president yet. Baby, we will be left in the dark. So use where we are supposed to stand to our best of our ability to make a difference. Women are not meant to be the head. Accept that. Respect that. Because there's a lot of power in that too. The man might be the loud voice, but the woman is the whisper that makes the difference. Know your spot. Uphold it. If that doesn't answer you, if you still feel like you want to argue with me, then you are not for the black people. You are the op. You are the problem. You are the failure.
Yikes. I guess that's a mic drop right there, right? You know, I guess that's a mic drop. I'm gonna let it just breathe and whatnot, and we we are going to conclude tonight's session with that note right there, because I don't even want to follow that up with a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll continue our conversation with Melanin Monday. Like I said, I'm forming a panel, and I'm gonna bring different voices and different opinions and different energy to this quote unquote stage so we could deal with some of these conversations that need to be had. We needed to hear that perspective. I'm sure that we hear the other perspective a lot, almost to the degree that we don't even know that there's another perspective. We're so drowned out with this algorithm of hearing black men ain't ish, black men ain't do nothing, black men are destroying everything, black men this, black men that we never even heard a sister defend us for more than a soundbite. Get that shit off real quick and keep it, let's go to the next subject. She gave us 9 minutes of some quote unquote real talk, because there's things that I cannot say to a black woman that she was able to say. There's certain things that a black woman can't necessarily get through to a black man that I'm up here saying to black men, and hopefully they get it and whatnot. But let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. The outdated narratives are hurting us. Any state that you live in, because the state of Atlanta is the state of your mind. There's the Atlanta state, then there's the state of Atlanta. If the state of Atlanta is trying to lock arms with the NBA because they want them to come and they want to bring their wings in their things. They want to bring their wings. They want to bring the real chicken wings to the state arena to watch women, quote unquote, gyrate. And they're gonna bring out the pole and whatnot when they go to the Hawks game. The pole is coming out, and they're gonna play music, and it's not gonna be children friendly. They're not gonna play the censored version. If that's the direction that our people want to go in, then that is a Roman direction. That is exactly what When in Rome is speaking about. That is the Diddy way. You know what I'm saying? They are going in a direction that is it's a dead end. It's a Pied Piper playing that flute and whatnot. It's men and women not mastering their lower self, because pleasure is the principle. However, the journey is for self-mastery. Don't ever get it twisted. I could walk through a men's entertainment adult bar. I could walk in one of those strip joints and and not be, you know what I'm saying, and not turn into a quote unquote savage in there, and not become a savage, and not even be tempted. If I walk into one of those places, then I want my light to be felt. I want somebody to be like, damn, this brother is reminding me while I should not be in here. The fact that I'm seeing the brother might make the strippers go and get dressed and whatnot. Like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you want to move with that type of energy. You know what I mean? You want to be the one who, even if you're around some of these dark spaces, you shine your light. And the only reason that you're in a dark space is to shine your light. It's so much darkness out here. And to be honest with you, it's permeating even in some of the circles of what they would call our brothers and sisters. I'm seeing a lot of influence in this community. I'm seeing a lot of sisters online who were super goddess, you know what I mean? A lot of people are exploring their dark Lilith, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people are exploring their quote unquote thottery side, their thottis side, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's just a lot of exploration going on right now. People are discovering themselves, and it's all good, because this is all about man know thyself, woman know thyself. The thing about social media is we get to witness it as people discover themselves, because these are all trends. I went through the vegan trend. I watched people who was coming through, with the Burger King face and whatnot, and then they went raw food, 90-day raw food, H3O2 type shit, and completely transform themselves. I watched people come into this community, and they were battling life-threatening sicknesses and whatnot, and then months later they glowing and whatnot, skin glowing, looking super healthy. I've come into this community. I watch people come into this community very quiet and timid, and very humble and shit like that. Years later, they the loudest person in the room. So I'm watching young women who are like, going through exploring their sexuality and whatnot. They're online exposing, showing it, like they're into kinks and whatnot. They're into like, BDM and shit. And these are women who were like, they were on the meditation, stretching and yoga and juicing. They were of a certain type of frequency. Now they're leaning more into a darker, more into a more taboo energy. And it's like, why? But I don't have, you know what I mean? I'm just observing it. I'm just the observer. I'm watching and I'm seeing it. And I'm like, there's an influence. People are being similar to how there was the polygamy influence. Remember that? Remember, everybody was a polygamist at one time. That was a trend. There was an influence. As you observe, you start paying attention. Oh, niggas is pulling up with 3 whizzes. Oh, they all wrapped up. Oh shit. Okay. Oh, that okay. That's a thing. All right. Like that started to take off. You know what I mean? So it's just when you've been around, you get to see the trends as they come and go. So these are some of the trends. You know what I mean? And blaming black men is kind of the trend too. You know what I mean? We're gonna do the all girls thing, girls, and let's leave these men. We don't need them anymore. Do you know that we could make our own children? Yeah, yeah. We just have to, yeah, yeah. We have to sit on the just yoni steam and meditate. Yes, we don't need a man. We can impregnate ourselves. Yes, yes, sis, please, yes. You know, the queen said that. You know, all of that is going on. You know, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, good luck with that. You know what I'm talking about? Once again, being the observer, watching things play out. Watching things play out. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You know, then there's a lot of STDs, spiritually transmitted diseases moving around. A lot of bad spirits, you know, smacking bellies with other bad spirits. A lot of ping-ponging of parasites taking place too. People are swapping out parasites with each other. And it's just interesting to watch, you know. Get your sunglasses. Because it's, you know, yes. Get your sunglasses. Spring is here. Y'all seen the trees and shit? Y'all seen the grass getting green again? Yeah, spring is here, man. We almost through the dark night of the winter. Did y'all see the dark skies in Iran? Y'all seen the oil skies? Who got the biblical passage about black skies in Tehran? It has to be in somebody's book. It has to. That was biblical. Black skies in Tehran. What page is that? I don't even know if the Pope, if Minister Moreland gave us the passage and where that's at, but find me the passage for black rain in the skies during the apocalypse. So ironic that we name it the Fire Horse Apocalypse, and all I'm waking up to is fire. A purification by fire. That's what I'm seeing every day. Rivers of fire, streets of fire, backgrounds of fire, 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 fire. That's all on my timeline. You know? That's all on the timeline. 70 degrees in Jersey. Man. So yeah, man. Mars represents fire, and we are in March. And like Blue Pill said, when the Aries kicks in, when Aries season kicks all the way in, shit is gonna kick up. So once again, for all of my day traders, all of my wizards, my market wizards and whatnot, is this not your time to shine? I need to see you. I need to hear from y'all. I need y'all to be active. Y'all not showing up in my algorithm and whatnot on my IG. I don't see none of y'all. The algorithm is not pointing y'all in my direction at all. So hopefully when you speak about things, you bring it into your fruition. But y'all niggas need to be cooking right now. For real, for real. Holla at your peoples. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the Atlanta area, if you are in the ATL area on Tuesday, we are going to be putting on an event, all right, at Spin City headquarters on Tuesday. It is going to be the Techno Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. This one right here is going to be for all of my techies, all of my blurs, all of my programmers and my devs and whatnot. This is for my vibe coders. This is for my quote unquote anyone that is considered themselves to be an AI entrepreneur or even an AI connoisseur. We're going to need you in the building on March 10th at Spin City headquarters. All right. We are going to be at the Techno Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure y'all pull up to that. The QR code for you to get the ticket is right there. When you get the ticket, you'll get all of the information that you need, address. It's from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., and it is on Tuesday, March 10th. Okay, Tuesday, March 10th. So with that being said, peace, love, and light to the family. We will catch up with you. We're going to go to a word from our sponsors, and we will see you mañana.
V-Cell in my cup, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by Skim Moss. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. V-Cell in my cup, I'm feeling right. Sip to the sunrise, dance to the night. From the ocean's kiss to your city lights. 21 flavors, pure health in every bite. Drip so clean, we're custom made. From reef to street, we elevate. Gold green gel, set the record straight. Nature in a bottle, that's a better way. Charge me up, no caffeine crash. Clean energy, steady splash. From skin to gut, yeah, we live from within. Wellness on 10, let the rhythm begin. Pour it up, pour it up. Feel the wave, body thanking me. Every sip, ocean wisdom in this glass. V-Cell magic, sea moss. V-Cell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by sea moss. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. Island breeze in the city maze. We're mineral rich in 1,000 ways. Immunity high like the summer rays. Hydrate the hustle, fuel your days. Berry, mango, ginger, lime. Pick your flow, your flavor, your time. Beauty and balance we redefine. Every little sip, align your shine. Pour it up, feel the way. Body thanking me for every sip. Ocean wisdom in this glass. V-Cell magic, sea moss. V-Cell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by sea moss. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. From the coral choir to the heartbeat drum. Roots run deep where the wild tide hum. Real ones know where the glow comes from. V-Cell in the mix now, watch us.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields. And interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube. And fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guest. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Bless.
Crumb TV.